Good evening. Thank you for being here tonight. Please bear with me as I am sick and I'm having a hard time talking, but please just bear with me. But good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today I stand before you to address a very pressing issue that threatens the health and well-being of millions across our country, the proposed cuts to Medicaid and Medicare, which is under the current administration. These programs are not mere safety nets, they are lifelines for most of our vulnerable populations. I'm not sure if you may have loved ones or friends or family members who are on Medicaid or Medicare, but I personally do. And I do understand the gravity of it and how important it is for them to have Medicare or Medicaid due to either whether being a low income family or elderly who is no longer working and is looking to Medicare to help them with their insurance. The current problem is the proposed cuts and the far-reaching impact, scope, and magnitude of the issue. The Trump administration currently has a recent budget proposed outlines significant reductions in federal spending on Medicaid and Medicare over the next decade. Specifically, the plan includes approximately $880 billion in cuts to healthcare programs, with a substantial portion targeting Medicaid. These cuts are part of a broader strategy to reduce federal spending while maintaining tax cuts implemented during the previous administration. The impact on on vulnerable populations due to the cuts in Medicaid and Medicare is that Medicaid serves as a critical health insurance program for low-income individuals, families, and elderly, and people with disabilities, covering about 79 million Americans. The proposed reduction could lead to significant coverage losses, with estimates suggesting that up to 14 million people might lose medical coverage within the next 10 years. Similarly, Medicare, which provides health coverage to seniors and certain disabled individuals, faces cuts totaling approximately $750 billion over the next 10 years. This situation to me is just very, very personal because I do have elderly loved ones who are on Medicare. So knowing that they could possibly have a cut and it could affect their life, it could affect their health, their well-being, that is a huge concern. Similarly, as well, these reductions can result in diminished benefits and increased out-of-pocket costs for beneficiaries, compromising access to essential health services for our aging population. Please excuse me. And so a question that I want to pose is, why should we care? Why should we care about these cuts? Why should we care about this happening under our current administration and the urgency of the action? So the proposed cuts to Medicare and Medicaid are not abstract policy changes. They represent a tangible threat to the health and security of millions of Americans. For many, these programs are lifelines for them. This includes imposing reductions in federal funding and rejecting measures that impose work requirements or block grants, which could limit coverage and benefits. So legislative actions that are happening. Protecting Medicaid and Medicare necessities legislative action is that we must advocate for laws that prevent harmful cuts and promote the expansion of coverage. This includes supporting bills that enhance the funding. Experts in health policy provide valuable perspectives on the implications of proposed changes. For instance, Joan Aker, Executive Director of Georgetown University's Center for Children and Families, has also expressed concerns that funding cuts will leave more Americans without insurance, making it harder for them to get care. Similarly, the Center on Budget and Policy's highlights that implementing work requirements nationwide could cause between 1.4 million to 4 million people to lose Medicaid coverage, exacerbating health disparities and increasing the uninsured rate. So, in conclusion to this matter, the proposed cuts to Medicaid and Medicare pose a significant threat to the health and the well-being of millions of Americans in our country. It is our responsibility to fight for these rights. It is our responsibility to advocate for those who can't advocate for themselves. It is important to be knowledgeable, to pay attention to what is going on. I personally truly hope that Medicare and Medicaid are not cut. I do know that there are millions of people out here who need it, but just on a personal note, I have family and friends who are using it properly, who do need it until things just get better for them and that they can't afford insurance, whether it is through their job or a plan that they can find privately. And by opposing these harmful cuts and supporting the legislative reforms and heeding the insights of experts, we can work towards a healthcare system that serves the needs of everybody. I feel that if we all just stand together and just realize that this issue that is currently going on in our nation is extremely important, that things could get better and that people could have the proper insurance that they do need. Thank you.
Oh, that was, wait, was that longer than 5 or